the British Empire's rule over the Indian subcontinent, which lasted for nearly 2 centuries, has left an indelible mark on the region. Today, we explore the enduring impact of British colonialism on India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh, focusing on how colonial-era policies continue to shape these nations long after independence. British colonialism in the Indian subcontinent began in the mid-18th century and lasted until 1947. The British East India Company initially established trading posts in the region, gradually expanding its influence and control. By the mid-19th century, the British Crown had taken direct control of the subcontinent, ruling it as the British Raj until independence and partition in 1947. During their rule, the British implemented numerous policies that fundamentally altered the social, economic, and political landscape of the region. These policies were designed to serve British interests, often at the expense of the local population. Some key colonial policies included the introduction of English as the language of administration and education, the establishment of a centralized bureaucracy, the implementation of a Western-style legal system, and the reorganization of land ownership through systems like the permanent settlement. The British also introduced modern infrastructure, including railways, telegraph systems, and irrigation projects. While these developments brought some benefits, they were primarily designed to facilitate resource extraction and maintain colonial control. The colonial administration also implemented divide and rule policies, exacerbating existing religious and social divisions. Let us now examine how these colonial policies continue to impact modern India. One of the most significant legacies is the administrative and bureaucratic system. India's civil service, known as the Indian Administrative Service, is a direct descendant of the British-era Indian civil service. While this system has provided stability, it has also been criticized for its rigidity and resistance to change. The Indian legal system is another colonial inheritance, based on English common law. While this has provided a robust framework for governance, it has also led to a backlog of cases and delays in justice delivery. The use of English in higher education and administration, while facilitating India's global integration, has also created linguistic divides and challenges in access to education and employment. The economic policies of the colonial era, which focused on extracting resources and creating a market for British goods, left India with a weak industrial base at the time of independence. This legacy contributed to India's initial focus on state-led industrialization and protectionist policies post-independence. The colonial land revenue systems also led to long-lasting issues in agriculture and land ownership, contributing to rural poverty and inequality. Turning to Pakistan, we see similar impacts of colonial rule. The country's administrative and legal systems closely mirror those established by the British. Pakistan's powerful military, which has played a significant role in the country's politics, can trace its origins to the British Indian Army. The colonial policy of recruiting certain ethnic groups, particularly from areas that became part of Pakistan, into the military, has had long-lasting effects on the country's power dynamics. The education system in Pakistan, like in India, continues to grapple with the legacy of English medium instruction. This has created a divide between English medium and Urdu medium schools, often reflecting and reinforcing socio-economic disparities. The colonial-era emphasis on cash crops and the neglect of food security continue to impact Pakistan's agricultural policies and food security challenges. Bangladesh, which was part of Pakistan until 1971, and before that part of British India, also bears the imprint of colonial rule. The country's jute industry, once a major economic driver, was developed during the colonial period primarily to serve British industrial needs. The decline of this industry post-independence had significant economic repercussions. The colonial legacy is also evident in Bangladesh's education system, administrative structures, and legal framework. The country continues to use many laws dating back to the British era, some of which have been criticized as outdated or oppressive. The colonial-era emphasis on Dhaka as an administrative center has contributed to the city's rapid, often unplanned growth and the resulting urban challenges. Several cross-cutting themes emerge when examining the colonial impact on these three countries. One is the persistence of English as a language of prestige and power, often creating social and economic divisions. Another is the continuation of colonial-era borders, which have led to ongoing territorial disputes and ethnic conflicts. The colonial policy of categorizing and sometimes privileging certain religious or ethnic groups has had lasting effects on inter-community relations in all three countries. This legacy is particularly evident in the treatment of minority communities and in the political use of religious and ethnic identities. Economic policies of the colonial era focused on resource extraction and the creation of a market for British goods left all three countries with underdeveloped industrial sectors at the time of independence. This shaped their post-independence economic policies and development trajectories. Contemporary challenges faced by India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh often have roots in the colonial past. Issues of poverty, inequality, and underdevelopment can be traced, at least in part, to colonial economic policies that prioritized British interests over local development. The colonial legacy of communal categorization and divide and rule policies continues to influence political dynamics and inter-community relations. Environmental challenges, including deforestation and water management issues, often have origins in colonial-era policies that prioritized resource extraction over sustainability. The emphasis on cash crops during the colonial period continues to impact agricultural practices and food security in the region. In the realm of education, all three countries continue to grapple with the legacy of an education system designed primarily to produce clerks for the colonial administration. This has led to ongoing debates about the relevance of curricula, the medium of instruction, and the goals of education in a post-colonial context. While the focus of this discussion has been on the challenging legacies of colonialism, it's important to note that not all impacts of the colonial era were negative. The introduction of modern infrastructure, particularly railways and irrigation systems, laid the foundation for future development. The English language, despite its complex legacy, has facilitated India's emergence as a global IT powerhouse and has provided opportunities for many in the global economy. The legal systems inherited from the British, while not without flaws, have provided a framework for democratic governance. The idea of a unified India, which emerged during the freedom struggle against British rule, has been a powerful force in maintaining the unity of this diverse nation. In conclusion, the impact of British colonialism on India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh is complex and far-reaching. Colonial-era policies continue to shape these nations in myriad ways, from their administrative and legal systems to their economies and social structures. While some aspects of this legacy have provided foundations for development, others have posed significant challenges. The persistence of colonial-era systems and mindsets has often hindered efforts to address local needs and aspirations. However, it's crucial to recognize that these nations have also shown remarkable resilience and creativity in adapting, reforming, and sometimes rejecting colonial inheritances. As India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh continue to evolve and develop, they grapple with the task of addressing the lingering impacts of colonialism while forging their own paths in the modern world. Understanding this colonial legacy is crucial, not only for comprehending the current realities of these nations, but also for addressing the ongoing challenges they face. The story of British colonialism in the Indian subcontinent and its enduring impact is a testament to the profound and long-lasting effects of historical events. It underscores the importance of understanding history to make sense of the present and to shape a better future. As these nations continue to navigate their post-colonial identities, the legacy of British rule remains a significant factor in their national narratives and development trajectories.